I remember a few years ago, I was on Hulu and I had found Terminator Dark Fate on the platform. Out of curiosity, I decided to watch it and it was not good. In fact, I'd say that it is the worst Terminator movie of them all. Let's start with the positives. I liked the CGI de aging that was in the beginning of the movie. John, the T-800, and Sarah looked basically the same as they did during T2. The second positive is that it had an end credits scene. That's it. That's all the positives I have with this movie. So without further ado, let's review this turd of a movie. So the movie starts off on a beach somewhere with Sarah and John from T2. Now, if you remember that movie, you know that Cyberdyne was destroyed, the creator of Skynet died, and both Terminators were melted in lava. Therefore, no major parts could be recovered that would still lead to the development of the Terminators, like how T1 ended. In short, Skynet and the Terminators don't exist. But yet, a T-800 shows up out of nowhere, kills John, and walks away. Now I ask you this. How is this possible? Skynet doesn't exist. John isn't humanity's last hope. And if Skynet doesn't exist, then how did a Terminator time travel to kill John? And even if in the start of T2, Skynet not only sent the T-1000, but also sent at least one T-100, that still begs the question. How does it exist in the first place, since Skynet would never have been created, meaning that there would never have been a T-100 to begin with? I don't know. Anyways, so we go into present day Mexico where Terminator that is like the T-1000 shows up and he's on the hunt for the new leader of the new resistance. You see, instead of Skynet, there's now Legion, which is the same thing just with a stupider, more generic name. And as such, there's a new leader with the resistance, which again begs the question, why was John a target to begin with? Now, about this new Terminator, of which I'm simply going to refer to as Discount T-1000, is nothing like the Terminators in the past. It has the same abilities as the T-1000 does, but with new abilities like splitting itself in two and creating its own guns. Now, you would think that this would be the most dangerous Terminator, but nope! This Terminator is incredibly stupid. Like the whole thing of creating its own guns, it only did that once, and it didn't even shoot it. It only split itself up twice, and you really couldn't tell much of a difference. Or how about one moment where he's in a helicopter and is shooting at the protagonist with an SMG? When it's like, a mile away at least. And may I add, that was no joke the only moment where he actually used a gun in the entire movie. Or how it got access to Border Patrol drones and crashed them at random people instead of, I don't know, the protagonist of the movie. Or how he changed his voice and face only one time for like 2 minutes, whereas the rest of the time he was using his default face and voice. And may I add, he had infiltrated a Border Patrol base, disguised himself as a female guard, kept her name tag on the uniform, but still used his default form. In fact, if I remember correctly, they literally zoomed the camera on his name tag, showing it to be the one that belonged to some girl he killed earlier. I mean, come on now, really? I mean, how stupid can this AI program be? How can this be created by a super smart AI thing that is supposed to be the major threat to humanity? How is it able to create something so brain dead stupid? I don't know. Like, the thing is always trying to fight with melee weapons instead of guns, never changes forms, never changes voice, nothing. It's on par with the enemies from Redfall when the game first came out. It's that bad. Now let's talk about the character that was sent to protect the leader of the future resistance. I think her name was Grace, but honestly, I forgot. My first point with her is, why on earth would the resistance send a cyborg, oh, sorry, augmented person who literally needs drugs after it uses its power to protect the future leader? I mean, that's like saying that in order for John Wick to be John Wick, he has to take drugs, so he's high during each fight because of it. Not to mention, if she uses her powers during a future war, then how on earth is she going to find drugs to stabilize herself? I mean, that is an incredibly stupid design flaw. Also, what is about her taking some innocent person who is just doing their job and bashing their head into a wall, which, even if it wasn't fatal, I'm pretty sure it would have royally screwed up their heads for life. I thought she was supposed to be the good guy, but nope, she's not. She has no problem with killing or hurting innocent people who get in her way. I mean, look at Kyle Reese in the first movie. Yeah, he stole a homeless man's pants, stole some other stuff, and yeah, when the police cornered him, he was planning to go out guns blazing, if not for Sarah saying no. But the thing is, he never actually hurt or killed innocent people, because that's not really good guy type behavior. While I have many, many more complaints with the movie, like, how is it that a T-800 from the beginning of the movie, whose name is Carl, by the way, has a dog that doesn't spaz out, whereas all the other movies, the dogs always spaz out at the Terminators, to the point that they were used in the Resistance to spot Terminators in hiding. I don't know. Those are basically just my major complaints with the whole movie. I'm telling you, every minute of that movie somehow got worse and worse. When the end credits rolled, I remembered out loud saying, "Oh, thank God it's over." And I've never done with any movie or TV show before that or after. I mean, say what you will about Salvation or Genesis, they both did try to do something different to spice things up a little. Like, Salvation was the only movie that we got that was actually exclusively about the future war or how Genesis tried to do time paradoxes. I'm gonna give Dark Fate a 1 out of 10 due, due to being critically stupid and just plot holes that are just way too big to ignore, and for it caused me some emotional pain when watching it.